Tonight, somewhere in China, an apartment tower is completely dark. No lights, no people, but it's already been sold and counted as economic growth. That's the debt problem nobody wants to name. Right now, China is the world's second largest economy. It's also sitting on one of the largest debt piles in human history, depending on how you count it, over 300% of GDP. Bigger than the US before the 2008 crash, bigger than Japan before its lost decades. So why doesn't it feel like a crisis? Because this debt doesn't live where crises usually do. Here's how the system works. China's growth model runs on construction. Cities, roads, apartments, rail lines. Not because people always need them, but because building them keeps the economy moving. Local governments don't collect much tax, but they control land. So they sell land to developers. Developers borrow money to build. Banks lend because the government wants growth, and growth keeps officials promoted. Everyone gets paid, on paper. The apartments get built, GDP goes up, debt quietly piles up underneath. Now comes the uncomfortable part. Many of these projects don't generate enough cash to pay the loans back. Some are empty, some never finish, some exist mainly as accounting entries. So how do they survive? They refinance, they roll the debt forward. Old loans get replaced with new ones. Losses get hidden inside state-owned banks, local financing vehicles, balance sheets nobody outside the system can fully see. It works as long as prices keep rising, but property prices stopped rising. Developers like Evergrande weren't outliers, they were symptoms. When sales slowed, the math broke. Suddenly, yesterday's assets became today's liabilities. Publicly, the story is calm control, orderly restructuring, no systemic risk. Privately, banks are extending loans they know won't be repaid. Local governments are cutting services to pay interests. Households are losing faith in property as a guaranteed bet. And here's the irony. China's debt crisis isn't loud, it's quiet. No Lehman moment, no dramatic collapse, just slow pressure. The incentives that created the debt are still there. Officials are still rewarded for growth. Banks are still expected to lend. Construction still props up employment. So the system keeps going, but weaker. Long term, that means lower growth, fewer jobs, less confidence, and a government forced to choose between writing off debt or pretending it isn't there. Globally, this matters more than people think. China drives demand for commodities, machinery, energy. A slower China doesn't crash the world overnight, it drags it, quietly. The real risk isn't explosion, it's stagnation with too much debt and too little trust. So here's the unresolved question. If debt only works when everyone believes tomorrow will be bigger than today, what happens when an entire system quietly stops believing?